Granny enters the card room with a smile. Sitting at the card table are 3 older women, Ethel, Geraldine, and Anime. The women look at their watches and shoot Granny Dean a nasty look. Granny: I do apologize for my tardiness. Granny sits. Shall we begin? Geraldine: Please. Granny opens the table drawer and pulls out a deck of cards. Granny Dean: Whose deal, Anime? Anime: I don't rightly know, child. I don't rightly know. Well, who dealt last time? A thought bubble appears over Anime's head. In the bubble, there's an image of 4 indistinct ladies sitting around a table. Anime: Granny: What is it? Anime: I can't tell. It's out of focus. I'm sorry, ladies, but wait, I'm getting something. The image focuses in Anime's thought bubble. Ethel is shuffling a deck of cards. Anime points at Ethel. Anime: You dealt last time. Ethel inspects Anime's thought bubble. You're right. I surely did. So that makes it your deal, Geraldine. Geraldine: Are you sure? Granny spins her finger clockwise. Granny passes the cards to Geraldine. Geraldine shuffles the cards and places them in front of Ethel. Geraldine: Cut the deck. Ethel cuts the deck. Geraldine: Okay, ladies, we're gonna play a new game today. Anime: Is it hard? Geraldine: Would I know how to play it if it was? The ladies laugh. The game is called Boston, and it's easy peasy. Heck, it might even be easier than doing nothing. Granny Dean: How is that? Because it gives the illusion of doing something, and for us ladies, trapped in the oasis, we need a new mirage. We need the desert. Ethel: What's it called again, Geraldine? It's called Boston, and you start off with 4 cards. Geraldine deals each player 4 cards. Geraldine: Okay, everybody. Everybody got 4 cards? The ladies count their cards and nod. Geraldine: Good. Here's how you play. Geraldine produces a piece of paper and reads the printed directions aloud. The rules of Boston are as follows. A player pledges himself to perform a certain task, which we shall call an announcement. That player who makes the highest announcement is entitled, if successful, to the contents of the pool. The announcements in Boston are as follows: Piccolissimo, Little Misery, 6 levies, Boston, and Grand Boston, which is the king of all hands. Does that make sense? No, but let's just play. It'll make more sense once we're all confused. Granny slams the stack of betting chips on the table. Let's start the bidding at 20,000 barchons. Ethel: I'll call that. Anime: I'll see it. Geraldine: Call. The women study their cards and each other. The tension builds and builds. Anime throws down a card. Anime: 5 in clubs. Ethel throws down a card. 6 levies. Geraldine pulls an ace from her sleeve and puts it on the table. Aha! Piccolissimo! Beat that! Granny Dean hesitates to build the suspense, then lays down her cards. Grand Boston! What? That's impossible. Read 'em and weep, Geraldine. Let's have some music. Granny Dean claps twice, and a video appears in the fireplace. Granny Dean dances the Charleston around the room. Anime: Let's not be a poor sport, Francine. Granny Dean: Sorry, but a winner's like a firecracker. Once you light the fuse, you got to celebrate. Cheater! Who you calling a cheater, Miss Ace up your sleeve? Yeah, I seen it, but I was gonna let it slide. Anime, is that true, Geraldine? Geraldine picks up a knife and points it at Granny. Geraldine, no more TV on car days, Francine. Geraldine throws the knife at the TV and it explodes. Come on, girls. I can't be on this spaceship one jiffy longer. The women exit. Geraldine's spaceship speeds off into the distance.
There is a large explosion in a field. Boston and Balta climb out from the wreckage and stand in front of the burning mass. Boston surveys the landscape of disaster and whistles forlornly. Boston, I'm in deep doo-doo. Suddenly, a voice is heard in the distance. The voice, Boston, my office, on the double. Boston, Dad? Robbie Dean, Boston's father, stands on the top floor balcony of the Magenta's Caress skyscraper. Balta, good luck, Boston, and remember, a true leader faces the music even when he doesn't like the tune. Then I'm gonna need some earplugs. Magenta's Caress skyscraper. Robbie Dean's office. Robbie Dean staples a thick stack of papers, but the stack is too thick for the staple. Robbie, stapling. Things are about to change, buddy boy. Consider your days of running around like a free agent over. Robbie slams the stapler on his finger. Ow! Since you've been like the prodigal son, I'm cutting your allowance in half. Boston. But, Dad! And what little you do get, you're gonna work for. Like your granddad did. There's a mop. Get to work. Boston, where should I go? Robbie, start with the staircase today. Start on the first floor and work your way up to 75. Boston imagines himself mopping each of the 75 floors in the Magenta's Caress skyscraper. This is so unfair. You're right, it is unfair. And you know what most parents would say next? Life is unfair. But lucky for you, I'm not like most parents. I choose not to command, but to negotiate my will. I choose to search for the terms that we may together call just. Boston, okay. Robbie, to the peace table. Boston and Robbie jump to another part of the room. Robbie, well, any ideas? Boston thinks. I got one. Let me work for Granny Dean. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, and returned the t-shirt. What does that mean? Robbie grabs Boston's hand. Seek employment elsewhere, lad. Trouble follows that woman, and her friends usually become her accomplices. But I love my Granny. I know you do, but Granny, the boss, ain't the same thing as Granny the Granny. Working for her ain't gonna be no crystal stair. If you're thinking champagne, bubble baths, and homemade cookies, you got another thing coming. Stop turning me against Granny, 'cause I won't stand for it. Okay, I get the picture. If that's what you really want to do, you have my full support. Thanks, Dad, but I'll keep the mop just in case.
Granny's beautiful spaceship orbits the planet Zeronis. Boston is napping on the couch when a bell dings. Granny Dean from another room. Boston! It's lemonade time! Boston sighs and gets off the couch. He scoops up 4 glasses of pink lemonade and leaves the room. Hello, Boston realizes the room is empty and stops short. He spots a note on the table and picks it up. The note. We moved the card game to the library. Granny. Boston exits the room. Boston enters the library and finds Granny Dean and her friends. Boston. Hello, ladies. Light sparkles on the lemonade glasses. Geraldine. My lucky stars, serving us lemonade. What a sweet grandson. Granny Dean. I'm paying him enough. He better be sweet. Boston under his breath. Minimum wage, maximum rage. How about some freshly squeezed lemonade, Miss Anna May? I'd just be delighted. Boston slices a lemon and squeezes it into Anna May's glass. Ooh, homemade. One for you, madame? Ethel. Yes, please. Boston squeezes a lemon into Ethel's glass. Boston. Stir it to get the full effect. You are too much of a good thing, Boston Dean. Boston bows ceremoniously. Show off. Now for my dear Granny. My extra special recipe. Boston theatrically squeezes a lemon into the glass and hands it to Granny. Granny cautiously sips her lemonade and slowly smacks her lips. She closes her eyes and swishes the lemonade around and around her mouth. Boston and the other women eagerly await her verdict. Granny stands up and pours the lemonade on Boston's head. Boston. Granny! Geraldine. Francine Elizabeth Dean. Ethel. Shame on you. Granny Dean. Back to the drawing board, my boy. Too tart. But I work so hard. That don't matter a lick. Greatness is 0.5% perspiration, 0.5% inspiration, and 99% me telling you it's great. And I'm telling you it stinks. So try again. Boston, but Boston can't complete a sentence. He takes a lemon and tries to squeeze it in Granny's eye. You sour old battle axe! Granny Dean catches Boston's arm. Stop it! Boston, drop the lemon. Look here, don't make me learn you a lesson, because I'll do it. You know I will. Right here, right now, right in front of my friends. Is that what you want? Boston does not relent, so Granny forces him to squeeze the lemon into his own eye. Ah! Anna May. Oh, horrors! Boston's pupils contract, and tears stream down his face. He throws the metal tray on the ground. I hate you, and I hate working. Life sucks. What were you expecting? Not this. Well, welcome to the working week. I know it don't thrill you. I hope it don't kill you. Boston sniffles and rubs his eye. Boston under his breath. I hope I don't kill you. Granny Dean. Chin up, Boston. When life gives you a lemon, make lemonade. Now, out you go. Granny shoos Boston away, and off he skulks. Boston plods across the room, dragging the tray behind him. Boston, stupid idiot. Boston walks across the room and kicks the robotic vacuum cleaner through the window. Without missing a step, Boston walks into the lemonade cauldron.
Boston stomps his way through a thicket, not flinching as branches slap his cheeks. He pulls out a communication device and dials a number. Boston, you home? Good, I'm coming over. Boston hops over a stone wall and walks to the castle's entrance. Interior, Balta's castle. Boston and Balta lounge and drink yoo-hoos. Boston, I'm telling you, work was truly a bitch. Balta pops open another yoo-hoo and hands it to Boston. Sounds like it. And if I were you, and you were me, and you told me to quit the job, I'd put in my 1-day notice today. Quitting ain't in the cards, dude. Not while Granny has the upper hand. I gotta show my dad I can take her. I gotta prove him wrong. This ain't just another after-school job, Balta. It's the entrance exam of my destiny, and should I pass, I'll inherit the Magenta's Caress Empire, that symphonic Tower of Babel that harmonizes the nonsense of the world. But if I fail, should I return home with my tail between my legs like some sad little old dog, then my birthright is lost, and justly so. For true fatherly love is measured in fair compensation. Balta, what's going on? Boston, I'm in a dark-ass place, dude. I'm on Granny's bad side, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it through. What are you gonna do? I gotta fight, don't I? And I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna claw and tug and tear until I split the seams of her skirt prison. I'm gonna break through and see the sun of my future glory. Balta whistles. Boston, what? Sounds like you got a severe Oedipus complex. Freud didn't see this one coming. Boston finishes the yoo-hoo and slams it on the table. Well, I should mosey on. Boston looks out the window. It's getting dark outside. You know what time it is? Balta, gee whiz, it's about 2 a.m. Boston, shit! It's past my curfew, I gotta go. Boston bolts up and is hit with the dizzy spell. He grabs the chair for support. Balta, easy partner. Need some help? No, I'm good. Just promise me one thing. If shit gets ugly, you'll be there. Balta sticks out his hand. Best friends forever. The Magenta's Caress Skyscraper, Living Quarters. Robbie Dean is reading Princess Night by Osamu Tezuka in his nightgown. Boston tiptoes through the living room, unaware of his father's presence. Without looking up from his book, Robbie speaks. How was work? Boston freezes. Dad, I can explain. There was this woman on my way home, and have you ever heard that story of the Good Samaritan? Son, you're not in trouble. Huh? Nope. But I'm past curfew. From now on, you're the master of your own time. So I can stay up as long as I want? Yes, but divide your time wisely, my boy. Place over your temporal existence a grid that tends toward health, happiness, and prosperity. I'll guide you on your journey when I can, but your true path is a mystery to us both. It's just like the Beach Boys said. I know there's an answer, but I had to find it by myself. Get a good night's rest, Boston. Breakfast is at 10:30 sharp.
Granny Dean's spaceship appears among the stars. Ethel deals the cards by throwing them across the room to each player. Anime. Nice arm, Ethel. Ethel. Thank you, dear. I've always been good at throwing. Now, does everyone remember the rules to the game, Boston? Anime. We'll see. Granny Dean. My sources say no. Granny looks at her cards. 3 queens. Granny Dean. Thinking. 3 queens.
We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along.
Ethel, what is the wager today? Let's make it interesting. Geraldine, how interesting? 100 million Martians, interesting. Geraldine laughs. Granny Dean, what's so funny? Your pockets are not that deep, my dear. Wrong again, Geraldine. Just 'cause it ain't in the bank don't mean I don't got it. Is it under your bed? Nope. All my assets are tied up in this here spaceship. Granny Dean, and it's worth at least 100 mil. At least. Okay, but if you lose, I ain't gonna lose. Granny reaches in her purse and fishes out some keys. Granny Dean, keys to the ship. The women rearrange their cards. Ethel, ready, Anime? Anime, yep. Ethel, start us off. Anna Mae holds up her cards. Anna Mae, little misery. Ethel holds up her cards. Piccolissimo. Granny holds up her cards. 3 queens, that's a Boston. She did it again. I don't believe it. Pull out your checkbook, ladies. Anna Mae reaches for her checkbook. Geraldine, wait a minute, Anna Mae. Anna Mae, but. Geraldine, I haven't played my cards yet. Anna Mae, but Francine has 3 queens, and I have their husbands, 3 kings, grand Boston. Granny looks at the 3 queens in her hand.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, know when to run.
Granny panics and looks at her watch. Foot! My beauty parlor appointment started 20 minutes ago. Granny throws her cards on the floor and stands up. Granny Dean, sorry ladies, but I gotta blow this joint. I'm temporarily late for my permanent. Granny tries to escape, but Geraldine intercepts her. Geraldine, not so slow, Granny Dean. Beauty can wait. Geraldine grabs Granny's arm, but Granny shakes her off. Granny Dean, I beg to differ, Geraldine. Beauty waits for no one. Impatiently, it rests on the rosy cheeks of youth, only to fly far, far away. Geraldine, you the one getting carried away, Francine, for you overstate the value of a lovely form. Beauty is nothing more than the adornment of duty. Granny Dean, beauty is my duty. Geraldine, very well, see to your appointment. Granny Dean, I will. Geraldine, just be forewarned, your spaceship might not be parked in the same galaxy when you get back. Wait, I'll get the money. What money? I got a few contacts. Geraldine wears an expression of befuddled skepticism. Granny Dean, give me 3 days, and I'll have the cash. Geraldine, let me hold on the keys just in case. Granny Dean, you have my word. Geraldine, the keys. Granny enters her office and picks up the phone. She dials a number. Beneath her feet, Boston hides under a chest. Robbie Dean is sleeping with Princess Knight resting on his lap. The phone rings and he answers it. Robbie, hello? You sound like you just woke up. What's up? What do you want? Robbie, Sorry, Mother. Ain't bailing you out this time. Why, you little... Sorry, Mother, but I gotta go. I'm super busy right now. Robbie hangs up the phone and goes back to sleep. Good for nothing, son. I thought I raised him better. Well, if you want something done right, you gotta keep looking till you find someone. Granny walks to her desk and thinks, you're in a tight spot, GD. How you gonna wiggle out this time? Granny taps her fingers together. Who do I know that's rolling in green and doesn't hate me? Granny snaps her fingers and gasps. Caesar, obviously. Granny reaches in her pocket and pulls out a key. Granny unlocks a drawer and pulls out a box of paper clips. Granny takes out a paper clip and holds it up to the light. After a deep breath, she bends it. Suddenly, the objects in the room begin to glow and emit sparks. Granny disappears in a flash. Boston, aha! My all-day spy mission has proven successful. I knew the old buzzard was up to something shady. Now I'm gonna find out what. Boston comes out from his hiding spot and paces around the room. Boston sits in the desk chair, which triggers an alarm. Intruder! Intruder! We have an intruder! Boston spots a security camera. The fireplace glows black, and a Spanish conquistador materializes. The conquistador whips out a cutlass and backs Boston against the wall.
Granny Dean slides down a time tunnel. Granny Dean, take me to the ancient Rome. A landscape of majestic ruins. Granny appears on the horizon, cape flapping in the wind. She flies over a bridge in between 2 columns of Apollo's temple. Granny flies down a road and lands on a rock. She catches her breath as she looks around. Granny Dean, what the devil happened here? As if in answer, 2 heads poke up out from a doorway. Napoleon, please help us, O wise Minerva. Granny Dean, but I'm not Kneatham. We are in great needs. Napoleon and her husband Kneatham step out from the doorway. They kneel and raise their arms to Granny. Granny Dean, tell your tales, mortals. Minerva shall advise. Napoleon, seer of things great and small, look on Rome and note the devastation. Not by earthquake was the capital made a ruin before its time. No, you aged sage, 'twas not the caprice of nature, but that of man. They laid this city low. Once ours was a great nation among nations, but our marriage to success brought home some unsavory in-laws. Our prosperity fueled our vulgarity, and leaning against the throne of gold, we turned our backs on mighty Apollo. We stripped the strings from our harps and threaded them through our bow. Our words are dull and heavy, like hammers that pound out mediocrity. We have abandoned Apollo, but it is Rome who is now alone. Granny Dean, sounds bad, 'cause it is. Kneatham, but Caesar Romulus has a plan. Uh-oh, what's he doing? Kneatham, he commissioned a poet to write an epic. A poet? Yep, he promised to have the mess turned around in a year. He hired a poet to fix the whole city? Uh-huh. Granny slaps her forehead. There ain't no limit, just ain't no limit. Napoleon, what are you gonna do? Granny Dean, hang tight but stay loose, 'cause Minerva's on the case. I'm going to pay Caesar a visit and get to the bottom of this. If there is indeed a bottom to Caesar's insanity. Kneatham, good luck. Napoleon, bye. Granny flies away. Granny descends onto a bridge and looks at the decaying architecture. Granny, oh horrors! Even the royal palace is falling apart. Granny walks across the bridge. Granny is walking up the road when a boy, Bostonius, emerges from the first floor window. Bostonius, Granny? Granny Dean, Bostonius? Bostonius runs towards Granny. Boy, get over here right this instant and get you a hug. Bostonian hugs Granny and wets her face with kisses. You're early, Granny. I was going to surprise you. Early? But who told you I was coming? The little birdies did. Granny Dean, did they really? Uh-huh, when I woke up this morning. Bostonius is sleeping with the morning sun on his face. Perched on the windowsill, 3 birds begin to chirp. The chirping gradually transforms into human speech. Birds, Bostonius, Bostonius, rise and shine, rise and shine. Bostonius buries his head in the pillow. Wake up, you sleepyhead, wake up. Bostonius sits up. Birds, get dressed. Bostonius, what's the rush? Granny's coming to town. Bostonius, Granny? Birds, go, Bostonius, go. Bostonius jumps out of bed and runs out the door. Bostonius, you see, that's how I knew. The birdies told me so. Granny Dean, now, if that ain't the sweetest thing I've ever heard, but then again, you always say the right thing. Bostonius blushes. Granny Dean, give me another hug. Bostonius hugs Granny. That happy talk fills Granny's heart with gladness, takes away all her sadness. Come on, let's go see your dad. Granny and Bostonius walk to the palace door. Granny snaps her fingers. Granny Dean, you know what? Bostonius, what? Granny Dean, I got you a present. Really? What is it? I was going to wait till Saturnalia, but I think you deserve it now. I do. Granny Dean pulls out a present from under her cape and hands it to Bostonius. Granny Dean, for being such a good little boy. Bostonius shakes the present near his ear. Granny Dean, what do you think it is? Bostonius, a new slingshot? Granny Dean, no. Bostonius, a wax tablet set? Granny Dean, no. Bostonius, stilts? Granny Dean, why don't you open it up and find out? Bostonius opens the presents and reveals a Nintendo Game Boy. Bostonius shoves the present into Granny's stomach. Bostonius, take it back. Granny Dean, why? Bostonius, I don't like it. Bostonius crosses his arms and marches away. Granny Dean, where are you going? Bostonius, back to my hideout. Granny Dean, do you even know what this is? Granny holds up the present. Bostonius, no. Granny Dean, well? Bostonius, but I hate it. Granny Dean, you didn't even turn it on. Granny chases after Bostonius, but he outruns her. Bostonius locks himself in his hideout. Granny turns on the Game Boy and holds it up in the air. The screen glows and fast electronic music begins to play. Bostonius, where's that music coming from? Granny Dean, do you like it? Bostonius, yes. Granny Dean, and look at this light, isn't it pretty? Bostonius, wow, what is it? Granny Dean, it's a fantasy machine. Bostonius, wow. Granny Dean, but since you don't want it, I guess I'll have to take it back. Granny puts the Game Boy into the box and rummages through the wrapping. Granny Dean to herself, uh-oh, I hope I still have the receipt. Spending money on children is always a mistake. Here it is. Granny looks up at Bostonius. Granny Dean, nice to see you, Bostonius. Stay out of trouble. Granny walks towards the palace entrance. Bostonius, wait, Granny, I'm coming. Granny continues to walk. Bostonius runs up to Granny and tugs on her cape. Bostonius, Granny, shy gesture, can I have my toy back? Granny expresses sternness, amusement, and everlasting love in a glance. Granny Dean, of course you can, dear. Granny returns the Game Boy to Bostonius. Bostonius, I'm sorry I pitched a fit, Granny. It won't never happen again, and I promise I'm a big kid even if the little boy in me takes over sometimes. Bostonius sniffs and wipes his nose on his sleeve. Granny Dean, that's all right, kiddo. I ain't worried about a little temper tantrum. You'll grow up soon enough. And once you're a big boy, you'll be a big boy forever. Bostonius, forever? Granny puts a hand on Bostonius' shoulder. Granny Dean, well, unless you take after your granny, she ain't ever gonna outgrow a temper tantrum. Bostonius hugs Granny. Bostonius, thanks, Granny. Granny Dean, you're very welcome. Bostonius, I want to be just like you. Granny Dean, be careful what you wish for. Now you run along, little dude, 'cause I gotta do something I dread, grown-up talk. Granny enters the palace entrance and disappears. Bostonius sits down and plays the Game Boy. On the screen, a little Roman boy hops through the landscape of Olympus. The little boy slashes bad guys with his sword to collect points. Bostonius, wow, I control them.
A Roman centurion, Lucian, sits on a rock. Granny enters the palace bath, and Lucian spots her across the water. Lucian, halt! Lucian jumps up and runs over toward Granny. Halt, I say, halt! Who goes there? Lucian, it's me, Granny. What's the meaning of this ludicrous behavior? By Jove, it's Granny Dean. My most sincere apologies. It's just been so long. No time to bathe in this chit-chat effervescence. I'm on a mission. Take me to Emperor Romulus. Right this way, Your Majesty. But we must be quiet. Virgil is reading from his new poem. Granny and Lucian walk down a hall and enter the throne room. A man, Virgil, is standing on a pot reciting poetry. But anxious cares already seized the queen. She fed within her veins a flame unseen. The hero's valor, acts, and birth inspire her soul with love and fan the secret fire. The queen and prince, as love or fortune guides, into one secret cavern they hide. Then first the trembling earth the signal gave, and flashing fires enlightened all the cave. Hell from below, and Juno from above, and howling nymphs were conscious of their love. The beauty of the verse stunned Caesar. Virgil rolls up his scroll and steps off the pot. Caesar Romulus. That was marvelous, Virgil. But will it appease mighty Apollo? Surely not. Ain't nobody want to hear all that fancy talk. Caesar spins around and sees Granny. Mother, how long have you been? Long enough to hear that filth. So this is how you spend your leisure time, huh? No wonder Rome's in the state it's in. Please leave our company, Virgil. Me and Caesar gotta talk economics, a subject I doubt you could be of any help. Granny points to the door. See you later, blabbermouth. Granny pats Virgil on the butt, and he promptly exits. What a waste of talent. What's your business, Mother? Let's get this over with. Caesar walks over to the low dividing wall and sits. Granny Dean. Well, it's a long story, but the way I'm about to tell it, it's going to seem short. Just tell me what you need. Well, if you want to get right down to it, I do. Then I need 25 million barchuns. 25 million. Let's see it. What? Large bills, please. I'm sorry, Mother, but the empire is totally broke. Even our togas are beginning to fray. Caesar holds up the frayed end of his toga skirt. See? Have you displeased the gods? Yep, and that's an understatement. Which one this time? Apollo, god of light and sun, music and poetry. He who lights the world and brightens the mind. What have you done, you fool? I've put the pedestal on the sculpture and admired that. In plain words, have I praised utility and sacrificed my eloquence to the gods of prose? I've neglected the Delphic temple and the beauty for which it stands, and as a punishment, Apollo has given me a world truly unadorned. Look upon my ruins. Romulus gestures to his decaying palace. Granny and Caesar step out into the garden. Granny begins to cry. Please don't cry, Mother. Rome will find her way. My tears are for myself. I'm done for, my boy. If I don't come up with 25 million barchuns, Geraldine's going to turn me to stone. I mean the real me. Who's Geraldine? A witch in my card group. One of your friends? Granny Dean. Not hardly. Then why is she in your group? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, that's just a group. I didn't make the rules. As I've made quite clear, I cannot offer you monetary support. But if it's a question of your safety, then I can offer my personal guard. What do you say to that? Thank you, Caesar. 5 centurions, including Lucian, enter the palace garden. Lucian salutes Caesar. Lucian, reporting for duty, sir. I'm not the one you should be saluting. Huh? Granny Dean, over here, buddy. The Emperor's got new clothes. Granny's in charge now. Try to keep her out of trouble. Granny Dean, come on, boys. Make a circle and hold hands. Quickly, man. I got some errands to run. The centurions and Granny hold hands and form a circle. Granny reaches in her pocket and pulls out a paper clip. Granny Dean, so long, whippersnapper. Granny Dean bends the paper clip.
Granny and the Centurion slide down the time tunnel. London, 1860. Suddenly there's an explosion in the sky. Granny and the Centurion appears. They float down into the garden. Granny approaches the front door and knocks. Raleigh, the butler, answered the door. Welcome home, my lady. Good morning, Raleigh. I need to see Lord Do-a-Thing well at once. He's in the parlor. Good. Take me to him. Of course. May I take your cape? No, we ain't staying that long. We? Come on, boy. Follow me. Please, gentlemen, remove your sandals. The centurion ignores Raleigh. Gentlemen, the carpet. Step around. Raleigh tried to get the carpet out of the way. After the centurion exit, Raleigh tried to clean the carpet. This won't do. Raleigh thanks for a minute and he leaves the room. He come back with a clean carpet, placing it over the dirty one. Granny and the centurion enter the room. Lord Do-A-Thing-Well puts another coin on the stack. 300,462, 896, 13,987, 952 million. Guess who's back? Granny is back. Granny dances into the room. Your princes have returned. Go away. Granny holds out her hand and Lord Do-A-Thing-Well slaps it. Ouch, that's no way. Where's my child, Francine? I demand an answer this time. Last I seen it, she was in Russia. You are lying. I am not. I just can't remember. I do remember, but I ain't remembering the right thing. I'm done with your rigmarole. Please state your business and leave. My business? Yeah. Tell me what you want and get out of here. Eldridge. Is it money? Here's $5 million, and now out with you. Lord Do-A-Thing-Well points at the door. Granny approaches Lord Do-A-Thing-Well. She looked deep into his eyes. Allow me to justify, my lord. Allow me to explain. Talk to the hand. The face don't understand. Lord Do-A-Thing-Well shows Granny his palm. Hand, you know I always love you, but sometime I gotta ramble. This bird you cannot change. Granny put LD hands on her cheeks. Let's make up. What do you say? Lord Do-A-Thing-Well back away from Granny. Hold me, Eldridge. Granny reaches out to hug Lord Do-A-Thing-Well, and in the process, knock over the corn stack. The coins scatter across the floor. Raleigh, come here and remove this witch. Raleigh appear on the balcony. You rang? About time. What do you wish, my lord? Lord Do-A-Thing-Well points at Granny. Francine Elizabeth Thing is banished from my castle. Yes, my lord. Farewell, my lovely. Don't let that butler get through. The censor crossed a spear and blocked that entrance. Granny reaches under her cape and pulls out a vacuum. She turns it on and the vacuum sucks up the coins. Granny tiptoed over to Lord Do-A-Thing-Well. Eldridge, Eldridge, Eldridge. You acting just like a grizzly bear with a toothache. You have the right to pout, but enough is enough. Granny is here now, and she want to make it better. She want to make it just right. Granny plays with Lord Do-A-Thing-Well hair. Let Granny be the candy and the toothpaste. Come on, babe, let's get a stiff drink in your hand. Sound lovely. Maybe a Cuban? I don't see why not. Granny lead Lord Do-A-Thing out of the room. As they walk, Granny looks at Lucian and point toward the vacuum. Lucian pick up the vacuum and hides it under his shirt. You just get comfortable, dear. Granny's gonna take you to Margaritaville. Lord Do-A-Thing-Well squeezes Granny's hand. I'm glad to have you back, Francine. I miss you very much. Granny smiles and walks to the bar. She make Lord Do-A-Thing-Well a margarita. Granny hand Lord Do-A-Thing-Well the drink. There you go. He takes a sip. Back to normal? Back to normal. Goody. Lord Do-A-Thing-Well, he points at the door. How about that cigar? I keep them in the humidor. Coming right up. The combination is 777. Okie doke. BRB. Granny backs out of the room. Granny, you got the door? Lucian put the finger to his lip. Shh, I got it. The way to go, Lucian. Let's split. Granny and the centurion exit the room. Granny and the centurion fly away.
Granny Dean's spaceship burst through a nebula. Granny Dean's office. Carlos the Conquistador holds Boston at sword point. Boston sweats. Carlos sweats. But the two are frozen in position. Boston, you're not gonna get away with this. Carlos, silence. Boston. Who are you? I am the bodyguard of Granny Dean. Oh yeah? What's your name? Carlos, the Conquistador. Okay, Carlos the Conquistador. Where's my granny? Wouldn't you like to know? I would. Well, she's gone to the past. The past? Yep, that's impossible. Ain't nothing impossible for Granny Dean, not even time traveling. Now you leave off your questions till Granny gets back. Suddenly, Balta appears at the door. Balta. Hey, what is going on here? Balta, help! Carlos, take one more step. I dare you. Balta marches through the door, punching his fist in a threatening manner. Let's tango. Boston. Ooh, yuck. The blood's getting on everything. Balta. It's gotta run out at some point, right? I don't know. How much juice is in a full-grown man? Give me the equation of volume and I'll tell you. You ain't worried about no equations. Help me move this vase. Okay. Over a little bit. Right there, good. Now the other one. Boston. My friend, we are in a pickle. Balta. In a pickle indeed. Balta reaches in Carlos's pocket. Boston. Ho, what are you doing? Balta. I'm looking for some ID. Boston. Well, you getting fingerprints all over everywhere. If you gotta grab something, use your fingers like this. Boston demonstrates the preferred grabbing technique. 2 index fingers, almost together, nails touching. With the recommended method, Balta reaches in Carlos's pocket and pulls out a wallet. Balta opens the wallet and removes the ID from the plastic pouch. Carlos's portrait is printed on the card along with the words, Carlos Montana, a.k.a. Carlos the Conquistador, bodyguard to Granny Dean. Balta, thinking, that's interesting. That's my last name. Carlos's head. Psst. Balta. What's up, Boston? Boston. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah, you did. You just went, psst. Balta. It was me. Balta looks at the severed head and gasps. Chill out, dude. Chill. I need you to do me a favor. Balta looks horrified. Balta. What? I need you to take the metal from my chest and keep it safe. It's powerful and very magical. And in the wrong hands, ooh. Will you honor my request? I will see it done. Now rest in peace, and may there be many conquests in the afterlife. Balta unpins the metal from Carlos's chest and puts it in his pocket. Balta looks down at the pool of blood and stands up. Balta. What a mess. We gotta do something before it stains. Where does Granny keep the mop? Boston. She ain't got one. She got one of them robot vacuums, but I can't find it today. Balta takes off his shoes and walks over to the phone. He picks it up. Balta. Give me maintenance. Phone. This is maintenance. Balta. We got a situation that's turning into a situation. Phone. What's the situation? Boston snatches the phone away and hangs it up. Balta. That was rude. Boston. You trying to make it 2 dead bodies? Balta. No. Then use your head, bro. You want to announce this? Points at Carlos's head. To all Zeronis? Yeah, probably not a good idea. No, it's a terrible idea. 'Cause if rumor flies, it ain't coming back. And if word gets out, it's going to be harder to stop than the blood of a conquistador. Lord have mercy if Granny finds out, 'cause it ain't no telling how that crone would punish a snoop. We shouldn't even be here in the first place. Balta wrings his hands. This just got more complicated. What are we gonna do? Don't you worry, bud. I'll take it from here. You sure? Absolutely. I've been waiting for a chance like this. A chance to prove myself. Boston and Balta bro hug, and Balta exits. Boston. Now where was I? Boston looks around the room and sees the paper clips on Granny's desk. Ah, the paper clips. Boston hurries over to the desk and pulls out a paper clip. Boston thinks, maybe I should clean this up before I go a-time traveling. Boston imagines the unpleasant duty of cleaning the office. Boston. No, I'll just do it when I get back. Boston bends the paper clip.
Boston speeds down the time tunnel at a tremendous rate. The wind force is deafening. Boston, whoopee! This must be some sort of time luge. Boston overtakes a couple wearing swimsuits. He clears his throat. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? The couple laughs. But seriously, folks, I'm looking for someone. Man, what'd you say? I can't hear you. Woman, speak up, it's loud. I said I'm looking for someone. Woman, who? Granny Dean. Man, what did he say? Woman, what did you say? Come on, late Beethoven. I can't keep saying the same thing over and over. I'm in a rush. Man, did you get that? Woman, something about Russia. Russia? Man, Russia? Yes, make it quick, Pops. Man, just say Russia. What? Woman, say Russia. Russia. Man and woman. Shout it. Russia! Suddenly, Boston evaporates. A Soviet flag waves in the air. Vladimir Lenin speaks to a large, cheering, flag-waving crowd.
Что такое советская власть? В чем заключается сущность этой новой власти, которая...
Boston suddenly appears beneath Lenin's platform. Lenin ends his speech and the crowd storms the streets of St. Petersburg. Boston is swept along. After a little rioting, Boston hears a woman screaming. He looks up and sees Olga Doethingwell, a young ballerina. Olga is stuck in a carriage whose trailer hitch is caught on the end of an up-tilting bridge. Olga, aye! Boston, that lady's in trouble. She needs my help. Boston fires his rocket pack and takes off into the air. He flies to the top of the bridge and runs up to the carriage. Boston, hop on. Olga jumps into Boston's arms and they fly away from the bridge. They fly past the church of the spilled blood and then out of sight.
Olga, that was amazing. Boston, what was amazing? Hello? You saved my life. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess if I saw someone do what I just did, I would be impressed too. How can I ever repay a debt so profound? Money? I meant like, just a few hundred barkans would do. I'm sorry, but I can't afford that. Then can you at least pay for the rocket fuel I used? I'll be honest, I don't have a barkini to my name. Then why did you make the offer? I thought a hero would never accept. Well, he does if he only makes minimum wage at his day job. Olga fondles her hair. I guess I could sell my hair. You ain't gotta go to that extreme. Hit your parents up for the cash. They're dead. Oh. What about your grandparents? Olga starts to cry. Your questions have resuscitated a tragedy. Oh, my For grandfather. Olga looks up to the heavens. May your soul recapture in paradise the wealth you lost on earth. Sad. What happened? Fly me to that rock and I'll tell you my tale. Hop on. Boston flies Olga up to the rock and they land. Olga clears her throat and her voice echoes in the distance. The legend is about a rich man, the wealthiest man in all of England, Lord Eldritch Do-A-Thing-Well. Like King Midas, his touch was gold, and all things did he do them well. For his fortune it sensuously unfolded, as did his grand estate, known in all of Europe as Do-A-Thing-Well Manor. All was hunky-dory, as they say, everything in its right place, as they also say, but the Lord was lonely. He longed to share the happiness brimming over his soul, the extra joy wasted for want of another vessel. So he went a-looking for love, but in all the wrong places. His sunny disposition had clouded his judgment, for he mistook avarice for affection, and craftiness for circumspection. He gave his heart to a woman named Francine Elizabeth Dean, and she robbed him blind. Boston faints and falls off the rock. Are you dead? No, I'm fine. My muscles broke my fall. Did you say Francine Elizabeth Dean? Yes, I did. Boston stands up. That's my grandmother. Mine too. What the freak? Do you realize what this means? Yeah, we have the same granny. So I guess this means we're cousins or siblings. Olga, brother? Boston, sister? Olga and Boston hug each other. Boston, I always wanted a sister. Olga, I always wanted a sister too. Listen, Olga, I'm about to blow your tutu. Boston rockets up and hovers in the air. My name is Boston Dean and I'm from the future. What? Just roll with it. I think I was sent here to help you. Not just the bridge stunt, but to get your money back too. How would you like to settle the score with Granny? More than anything in the world. Boston rockets back down. Boston, then let's get going. Olga, where to? Boston, to Zeronis. Boston reaches in his pocket and pulls out a paperclip. Boston bends the paperclip. Boston and Olga slide down the time tunnel. Boston, open your eyes, Olga. Olga opens her eyes. Olga, what is this place? Boston, I don't know the official title, but I call it the Time Luge. Where does it lead? Hopefully back to Zeronis. Hopefully? Yeah, but you're not sure though. No, I accidentally went to Russia last time. Then let's ask for directions. Good idea. I'll ask this dude. Is he human? Hey, excuse me, sir, do you know the way to Zeronis? The creature looks at Boston. Sir, I asked you a question. Hello, sir? Look at this guy. So rude. Listen here, buddy. My companion and I need directions to Blommy-Coombe. What was that? Blommy-Coombe? Blommy-Coombe. Olga, what does Blommy-Coombe mean? Boston, I don't know. I'm sorry, sir, but I don't speak your language. Do you know English? Blommy-Coombe. What is Blommy-Coombe? Blommy-Coombe. Is that your name? Is your name Blommy-Coombe? Must be his name. Mr. Blommy-Coombe, could you tell me? The creature speeds off. Wait! Where are you going? Boston and Olga. Blommy-Coombe! Boston and Olga evaporate and appear in the fantastic landscape of Blommy-Coombe.
Meanwhile, Granny and the 5 centurions slide down the time tunnel. Granny Dean, we did it, boys. Hang on tight to those money bags, 'cause we're about to time jumps. Take us to Zeronis. Granny and the Centurions suddenly appear in the room where they discover the disjointed corpse of Carlos the Conquistador. Lucian, that dude ain't got no head. Anchises, that dude ain't got no body. Granny, they're the same dude, you bozos, the head and the body. And they both belong to my former bodyguard, Carlos the Conquistador. While I was absent, someone must have broken my office. Someone who didn't know about the alarm. The alarm went off, and Carlos tried to stop the intruder. But Carlos failed, and he got his lovely head lopped off. Granny sits down and stares at Carlos' head. Now, to solve the case. Lucian, who do you think done it? Not 100% sure at the moment. Any suspicions? Yeah, but none of them are hunches I want to jump on. Not yet, anyway. A heavy frog's got to choose his lily pad wisely. Should we look for clues? Excellent idea, for great issues may indeed hang from a bootlace. All right, boys, I want you to comb over every follicle of this spaceship until you uncover the killer's trace. Anchises, you're in the card room. Flavius, the library. The kitchen is you, Manlius. Rufus, you're in the bedroom. And Lucian, you and I will stay here in the office. Everyone clear? The Centurions salute Granny. Then get on it, and be careful handling my antiques, 'cause you break it, you buy it. The Centurions look for clues. Found any clues? Nope, nada. This guy was a professional. Really? Yep, no doubt about it. Then I guess I'll just have to accuse someone and hope I'm right. Wait! Find something? Nope, just a piece of fuzz. Oh well, round up the Centurions and let's get some lunch. Granny Dean, what's that beeping sound? Lucian, I don't know. Can you tell where it's coming from? You know my ears ain't that good. Aha, there it is. Lucian points up at a security camera. A mechanical voice speaks inside the camera.
Camera battery low, camera battery lower, camera battery dead.
Granny Dean, what is that thing? Lucian, it's a security camera. Granny Dean, well I clean forgot about that. Granny and the Centurions crowd around the video screen. Granny Dean, let's see who's been a snooping. Granny rewinds the tape and presses play on the remote. Oh dear, I wish I ain't seen that. Lucian, telephone. Granny Dean, I heard it. Anchises, get the phone. Anchises brings Granny the phone. Granny Dean, who is it? Anchises, says her name's Geraldine. Granny frowns and takes the phone. Good evening, Geraldine. Don't you good evening me. Okay, I won't good evening you. Do you know what today is? Tuesday? Correct. And do you know why I'm calling? Thought you'd spread a little sunshine for a change? Wrong answer. Calling again for my cinnamon roll recipe? Calling to. Your time is up, Granny. Time's up for what? You owe me 25 million barchins. The deadline's at 4 o'clock. Oh, that. And if you can't come up with the money, and I mean every last barchini, then I'm coming for your spaceship. You got a week to remove your tacky things, and then you'll keep those grubby little paws off my palace, 'cause I got your dough. As if, where'd you get it? I stole it. Granny hangs up the phone and tosses it to Anchises. Granny Dean, where were we? Lucian, the video. Good memory. Granny presses play on the remote. On the screen, Boston opens the door to Granny's desk. What are you doing, Boston Dean? Stay out of my secret drawer. Boston pulls out a paper clip. Put those back, you little snoop. Boston bends a paper clip and disappears. Lucian, what just happened? Granny Dean, that boy done time traveled, that's what. Time traveling, Lord have mercy, that Boston is cruising for a cosmic bruising. Anchises, quick, I need the phone again. Anchises brings the phone to Granny. Granny dials the number. Lucian, who you calling? Granny Dean, Balta, Montana.
Interior, Magenta's Caress Incorporated. Hello, you've reached Magenta's Caress Incorporated. Nicole Stadium speaking. Put Balta on the horn. Right away, Granny Dean. Line 1, Balta. Thanks, Nicole. You're certainly welcome. I'm transferring you now. Hello, this is Balta. Balta, this is Granny. Oh, hi, Granny. You in the middle of something? Not really. Just normal work stuff. Balta looks at the scroll in his hands. Balta to himself. This just ain't adding up. What? Oh, sorry, Granny. Can you hang tight for just a minute? Okay, but make it snappy. Balta hangs up the phone. Henrik. An officer worker, Henrik Erickson, looks up when Balta calls his name. Yeah, boss? I need you to run those figures again. Was there a mistake? Henrik smiles slyly. Come on, dude. This ain't the old days. We can't just cook the books anytime we feel like it. Do it again and do it right. Balta tosses the scroll to Henrik. 4:30 on my desk. Done and done. Sorry about that, Granny. How can I be of service? I just need to see you. No problemo. Let's just get Nicole to pen you in, and we'll set you right up. I need to see you now. Oh, ASAP. When Balta reaches Granny, she's descending the stairs. Granny Dean. Knew I should have sprung for the escalator. Balta. Granny, hold up a second. I'll help you down. Why, I declare, it's Balta, Montana. Balta offers Granny a hand. Granny smiles and takes Balta's hand. Chivalry ain't dead after all. There you go, one more step. Boy, you worth your weight in gold, ain't you? Good to see you too, Granny. Aw. Granny opens her arms and Balta steps into a hug. Granny jumps back suddenly. Granny Dean. Ow! Balta, what's the matter? Wash get you? Granny rubs her sternum. You poked me. Oh, my bad, the pin's sticking out. Balta adjusts the metal on his chest, sticking the needle behind the protective covering. Granny comes in for a closer look at the metal. Granny Dean. Jumpin' Jiminy Cricket. What a dazzler. You mean this old hunk of junk? Yeah, where'd you find it? Balta remembers taking the metal from the conquistador's chest. Granny Dean. Earth to Balta. Balta. Huh? I'm trying to talk to you, and you just picking daisies in left field. Sorry. What were you talking about? The metal, Dumbo. Oh, right. I got it scuba diving by the reef. Found it under a rock. Granny eyes Balta suspiciously. He instinctively covers the metal with his hand. So what can I do for you, Granny? Would you like to upgrade your spaceship insurance policy? No. Go for the full 360 asteroid and comet protection. How does that sound? Not why I came. I can get you a quote right away, right here, right now, on my smartphone. Put your dumb machine back in your pocket. Okie dokie. I've got a package for you for just 1,000 barchons a month on top of what you already pay. I ain't come here for no stinking insurance. I know what you done, 'cause I seen it on video. On video? Yeah, you murdered Carlos the Conquistador and took his medal. Balta gasped. Granny Dean. And check this out. He ain't just some dude in a sailor costume. He's your ancestor. My ancestor? And to make matters worse, Boston done skipped town. Where to? Either to the past or the future, I don't know which. He time traveled? That's right, buddy, and you're gonna help me find him. So hop in the spaceship and buckle in, 'cause we got years to go before we sleep, and years to go before we sleep.
The spaceship touches down in a bamboo forest. The door hatch opens with a hiss, and Granny and Balta exit. They approach the temple and walk up the steps. Granny Dean. Before we time travel, I need to see an old friend. Balta. Why? Granny Dean. 'Cause he'll know where to find Boston. Temple interior. Tile covers the entrance hall from floor to ceiling. At the far end of the room, A window opens up onto a mysterious pine forest. Wanyo, a monk, meditates under a tree. Granny and Balta walk up to the window. Namaste Ji, my beloved. Wanyo breaks his meditation and looks at Granny Dean. Francine Elizabeth Dean. Wanyo opens his palm. Please, come. Granny steps through the window and into the forest. Wanyo. Young man, you may also come. Granny and Balta gather around Wanyo. Wanyo. How may I serve you, Granny? I sense great karmic aggravation. Boston got into my paper clips and flew the coop. He's time traveling? That's a bingo. Boston's lost in time, and I ain't got any earthly or erroneously idea where he's got to. What you think, Wanyo? Wanyo closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. I'm waiting. Let the boy explore. Granny Dean huffs. That's your advice? Yes. I'd just as soon let a kangaroo alone in a china shop. Patience, Francine, patience. For children are not cuckoo clocks. They come and they go, not in our time, but theirs. Mysterious machinery regulates their behavior. I have got to stop coming to you when I have problems, 'cause you only make my muddy water cloudier, I declare. I'm sorry, Francine. I was only trying to help. Well, if you really want to help, tell me where Boston is. Take my hand, Granny, and close your eyes. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now, just breathe. Granny and Wanyo breathe for several minutes. Follow me, and I will take you to your grandson. Granny and Wanyo continue to meditate. Suddenly, Granny's mouth drops open. There he is! I see him! Go to him, Granny.
Granny Dean appears in the fantastic land of Blimeycoon. Granny Dean, Boston, where are you? Granny ain't got no time for no hide and seek. I done seen you once, so it ain't no use you. Up here, Granny. Boston hovers above Granny with his rocket pack. You little monkey, welcome to Blimeycoon, Granny. My foot. You better get down, Zacchaeus. You coming home with me. I ain't leaving. Oh, you not? Granny pulls out a VHS tape from underneath her cape and tosses it to Boston. Catch! Boston catches the tape and looks at it. Know what you're looking at? No, ma'am. It's evidence. Bet you didn't know Granny had a surveillance camera on her spaceship, did you? You telling a big fat story. No, I ain't. You can't work no surveillance camera. You always underestimate my technological prowess, and now it done come back and bit your behind. Boston floats to the ground. Boston, Granny, don't tell my dad. Granny, your dad? You lucky I don't tell the law. Don't tell them neither. You don't worry about your punishment. Granny will take care of that. She's real creative. Granny reaches out her hand. Come on, Boston, we're going back to Zerona's. Suddenly a voice is heard in the distance. Wait! Who said that? I did. Olga emerges from her hiding spot and faces Granny. Surprise, surprise! Olga? Hello, Francine. I want my inheritance, Francine. You can call me Granny. Not until I get my money. Just so we're on the same page, you talking about Lord Do-a-Thing-Well's fortune? Correct. You stole 25 million barchons that belong to me, and I want 'em back. Now? Yes, I get the town police to investigate. Granny, shoot a monkey. Did you spend it? Yes. All of it? Yes. Then you leave me no choice. Boston steps up. Boston, the fortune's all tied up in her spaceship. Boston, Dean, Granny has a spaceship? Yep, and it's worth at least 25 million. I'll take it. Let's at least talk about it. Olga holds out her hand. Keys, please. You little monkey. Granny reaches under her cape and hands Olga the keys. Olga. Thanks, Granny. Olga. Will you live in my spaceship with me? Granny Dean. I'd just love it. Boston shuffles closer to Granny and Olga. Boston. Can I come too, Granny? Well, it's up to Olga. What do you say? Can Boston live with us? Olga. As long as he behaves.